Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Muslims who subscribe to the red pill manhaj, the red pill ideology, claim that the theories of Rollo Tomassi hold true universally, even for Muslims, despite the fact that the theory was designed as a response to Western society and the alleged behaviors of non-Muslim men and women. They claim that these theories are applicable to all people everywhere. Well, it turns out that the theory is not applicable and is inaccurate even for the society for which it was intended. Now, according to red pillars, there's something they call the 80-20 rule, whereby 20% of the men are sexually active with 80% of the women in society. This is based on data from dating websites and apps, which indicate that women only find 20% of the men on those platforms attractive. I shouldn't need to explain why that's not a scientific conclusion, but let's assume that it's true. What we should see then, when we cross-reference it with other research regarding the frequency of sexual relationships between men and women, is that men overall are engaging in fewer sexual relationships than women. I mean, if 80% of the men are basically excluded from the sexual marketplace, the number of men having sexual relationships should be drastically lower than women. However, according to a CDC study, which is arguably more credible than data collected regarding the swiping habits of people on dating apps, men between the ages of 25 and 44 had a median number of sexual partners in a lifetime of 6.7, while women had a median number of partners at around 3.8. If you need help understanding the numbers, what that means is that more men are having sex with a smaller number of highly promiscuous women. Okay, that's the median. On the extreme ends of the spectrum, men who have had 15 or more sexual relationships in their lifetime accounted for around 30% of men, while women with 15 or more sexual partners in a lifetime accounted for just 11% of women. Presumably, these are the women who are driving up the men's median average. So again, it indicates that a minority among women are highly sexually active with many men, which is kind of the opposite of the 80-20 rule. Another assertion of the theory is that women marry up and men marry down. However, again, the actual data does not support this. People generally marry within their own socioeconomic class. In fact, this is one thing that has been pointed to as a cause for the growing and persistent wealth gap in the West. Look, 60% of professional women are married, i.e. they did not marry up to men who could provide for them. Means they're not gold diggers. And somewhere between a third to one half of working women earn more than their husbands. And while divorce is common in the West, financial dissatisfaction is not among the leading top 10 causes. And as for the theory that women who out-earn their husbands inevitably become arrogant and masculine and feel they don't need a man and disdain their wifely duties, again, the research does not support that assumption. In fact, studies show that the more a woman earns, the more she is likely to conform with traditional gender roles at home, doing on average 17 hours a week more on housework and domestic duties than her husband, even when both of them are working the same number of hours in the office. In other words, red pill theory is wrong from start to finish. Actual reality reveals that women value men for more than just their money. They do actually love them, and they can't help but conform to their feminine fitra. Now, of course, by Islamic standards, all of them, the men and the women, are promiscuous, but the women are less so, and the majority of both sexes have roughly the same number of sexual partners in a lifetime. There is no drastic imbalance as suggested by the 80-20 rule. Most working women try to be good wives and mothers, regardless of how much money they make. In fact, the highest earning women also have the highest rate of marriage. So brothers, stop subscribing to this absurd and insulting theory that seeks to turn women and men into adversaries against each other. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described us as garments for one another and said that He put love and mercy between us. وَإِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتِهِ This is an ayah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the love and mercy that He placed in our hearts for one another. The red pill theory denies this ayah and claims that there's nothing but mercenary marketplace logic between men and women, and no genuine love and mercy. Allah said this is an ayah for people who think, so think. The reality attests to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, even among non-Muslims. And Rollo Tomasi, who أكاذيب, he's a liar, him and all of his red pill devotees. Be from the people who يتفكرون, yani, who think, and leave this fitna. This ideology is wrong, it doesn't hold up to scrutiny, and it's a fitna. Jazakumullahu khairan wa assalamu alaikum.